Hey there, let's talk about refrigerators. Hey everybody, this is Ben from Appliance Factory in Mattress Kingdom, and today we're talking about how to buy a refrigerator for the first time, or how to buy a refrigerator if you haven't bought one in quite a while. So the first thing that you want to look at before you even go to the store is making sure that you have your measurements. So as you can see, microwaves, ranges, dishwashers, they come in pretty standard sizes, but refrigerators can actually vary quite a bit. You have the common sizes, which are 30 inches wide, 33 inches wide, and 36 inches wide, but then the height can be kind of all over the place as well as the depth. So let's take a look at that. First thing you want to look at, probably the most important one, because a lot of refrigerators you're going to be putting into a space in the wall that already exists that would be a really pain to expand. Your width is important, so you want to make sure to measure all the way from one side to the other and make sure you know whether you're going for a 30, a 33, or a 36 inch refrigerator. Next thing you want to look at is depth. Depending on where in your kitchen you're going to be putting the refrigerator, depth can be very important, because if you have an island or something in front of the refrigerator, you might need a shallower refrigerator just to make sure that you have actual space for it. We actually did recently a video that gives a really good overview of counter depth refrigeration versus standard depth. So check out the link in the description and watch that video if you want to get a more in-depth explanation of the differences. For now though, we're going to move on to height. Before we do though, one consideration with depth is going to be make sure to add about a ½ inch to the depth when you do measure, just to account for things like water lines and airflow. Height though is going to be really important, because as you can see here, a lot of these fridges are built into spaces in the wall. So an important consideration here though that a lot of people miss is some fridges have two different heights. You're going to want to check to make sure you know exactly what the height of the actual case here, or the main body of the refrigerator is. And then there's a separate height measurement on some of these fridges for the hinges. So if you have something like this standard depth fridge where you're not going to push it all the way into the wall, you may not need a short hinge as long as the case itself is going to fit underneath that space. And that's a lot of what you need to know when it comes to measuring the dimensions of the fridge. The next thing to talk about is water lines and hookups. If you want an ice maker in your fridge, a big thing you want to check for is to make sure you actually have a water line behind the fridge, because if there's nowhere to supply water to the refrigerator, you would need a plumber to come in and actually put that line in. Otherwise, there's no place for your ice maker to get water from. The other thing you want to check for with that is if you have a water line already, you want to make sure that you know where the shutoff valve is. A lot of places aren't going to actually install your refrigerator if you can't shut off the water properly, obviously because the water would leak everywhere. The other thing you want to check is for a copper water line. Again, most places, just for liability reasons, are not going to install to a copper line. And you can have that switched out by a plumber, but it's something you want to know before the day of your delivery so that there's no surprises. Another important consideration when picking your fridge is the cubic footage. That's one that a lot of people don't really understand how big cubic footage actually means. So we're gonna go over kind of a basic rule of thumb here. One bag of groceries is roughly a cubic foot. Think about when you go to the grocery store, how many bags you typically bring home with you and how long those bags sit in your fridge. And that's going to give you a good indication of how many cubic feet you might need in a given week. A good rule of thumb though, and this is really rough because obviously people's buying and eating habits differ, but you're probably going to need minimum 4 to 6 cubic feet per adult who's using the refrigerator. All right, let's talk about styles. First style that we're going to talk about today is the top mount refrigerator. This is a classic style, very popular for a long time, and if you've had an apartment, you've probably seen it before. These are popular because they're less expensive than other styles of fridges, and also they come in smaller sizes. So if you're space constrained like an apartment or a smaller house, they actually work really well for that. The cons of this are going to be that this door is wider than most of the side-by-side or French door options. So you do require more clearance in front of the refrigerator for this style. Also, unlike the more popular styles, because people tend to use their refrigerator more than their freezer, the more popular styles today tend to have the fridge on top because it limits the amount of bending you have to do to actually get into the fridge. The other problem that people have with these ones is they typically don't come with ice makers. So if you do want ice or water dispensing, there are some models of top mount that have it. There's just not very many of them. In a similar vein, we do also have what's called a bottom mount refrigerator, which is basically you take this and put it to the bottom, but it's still a single door setup. People like those because it's very similar to the top mount, but they come in larger sizes, but same sort of cons where you actually tend not to see a lot of ice and water dispensing options in there. And because it's a wider refrigerator, you need a lot of clearance to get that door open. And so because they're more specialty, we actually don't even floor one, but they do make them, and it's something that's worth looking for specifically if you do have a reason that you would want one. So next, let's go take a look at some of the more popular styles. Next style we're gonna look at is the side-by-side refrigerator. These were popular for a long time, and big reason for that, they have good capacity and they're easy to organize. You open these up, and really simple, really easy to organize. Problem with this is going to be that because these are narrow, if you have large platters, pizza boxes, things like that, it's actually really hard to store those items. Also, you're gonna require space alongside the doors to fully open them. As you can see here, come take a look at these hinges. When you open this refrigerator, if you put yourself flat across the side of it, that hinge actually opens wider than the side of the fridge. So it's a consideration if you put this near a wall that you have to make sure you have enough clearance to open the door. But really popular option because they give you a lot of versatility and a lot of ease of organizing. Next, we're gonna take a look at French door refrigerators because those are the most popular style right now. So they give you that combination of top refrigerator for ease of access, but it's one wide refrigerator cavity. So that way, if you do have large party platters, you have things like pizza boxes that you're trying to put in here, you have a lot more space for those items. These also, because they're more popular right now, tend to come with more features. So you start to see these sort of slide away shelves and things, but we'll talk about more features later. Big problem with these ones as compared to a side-by-side is if you do use your freezer a lot, you're always gonna be bending down to get in there. So consider how often you use your freezer versus your refrigerator when you're deciding between a side-by-side and a French door. Next, we're gonna look at some of the more unique options. So let's take a look at quad doors. So this right here has a fourth drawer, so a French door style. And what you notice with these ones is you do start getting more options here where sometimes this middle drawer can be a flex zone where it can be a freezer or a fridge on the higher end models. You also do have options to control humidity, cool things like that. But with this one, you're gonna start to see the same problem that you also see with French doors is French doors tend to be more expensive than side-by-sides, and then these quad doors are even more expensive than a French door. Next style we're gonna talk about is built-in refrigeration. This one probably warrants a video of its own, so we'll make that in the future. But a big overview on what separates these is that they're actually built into the wall. So they're not a freestanding option like we were looking at with the other ones. And where that's gonna cause you to run into issues is they all come in counter depth because they have to be about the same depth as your counters. What you also would need to realize if you are considering a built-in is that you buy the refrigerator and the freezer separate. So that gives you customization options for the width of the unit, but you also have to buy two appliances. Also, that comes with other challenges where if they're side by side, you need to buy additional accessories like a heater kit, you need to buy the panels and the handles. So these ones start to get really expensive really quickly, but if you're looking for something high-end and luxury, you're typically gonna be looking at built-in. Next thing we're gonna look at is gonna be features, the fun part. Let's go look at them. Nowadays, there's so many features for refrigeration that it would be really hard for us to go over all of them. So I'll just give you a quick overview of some of the more popular ones. Keep in mind that typically you're gonna want to mix and match these based on how often you would actually use these features, because each one is typically gonna come with an increase in price. So the first one we see a lot is, this is fairly common, it's barely even a special feature anymore, but LED lighting. It's more efficient and it illuminates the inside of your refrigerator better. But where that really comes into play is depending on how deep your fridge is, how good the lighting is around your fridge. They do make theater lighting or backlit refrigerators that actually give you a lot cleaner look on the inside of the refrigerator and makes it easier to see the insides. But that's a pretty basic feature, lighting. The next one that we see a lot of is spill-proof shelving, where it actually has a little bit of a raised lip around the edge of the shelf, so that way, if you do spill something on the shelf, it's easier to clean up and it doesn't drip down to the shelves below it. So that's one where if you have kids, maybe spill-proof shelving would be a good option for you. A lot of times that comes in glass or plastic, so that's another one, durability, kids. Are you worried they're gonna break your glass shelves, but they are easier to clean and they don't fog like plastic? Next one, it's kind of a little bit less common feature, but some of these do actually have a hot water dispenser on the front of the refrigerator. We actually saw it with the GE Cafe series where they had a built-in Keurig coffee maker. So that's something where if you do a lot of tea, if you do a lot of coffee, that might be a cool one to look at. Another cool feature to look at is in some of your higher end refrigerators, you might actually even see refrigerators that have two compressors. So the compressor is the part of the fridge that actually produces the cold and pushes it out into the rest of the fridge, for a basic explanation of what a compressor is. But top-end fridges might actually have two of those so that you can have a separate compressor for the fridge and the freezer, as opposed to just recycling the cold air from the freezer up into the fridge. That way it's going to give you more consistent temperatures, and if one of them goes out, the whole thing isn't dead. You still have one of the parts that's still working. More specific higher-end feature is door and door. This is a good one if you use a lot of condiments or you need the quick access items a lot. They actually make these where the front of the door opens up, giving you access to the refrigerator bins on the inside of one of your doors. This way, if you use these items a lot, you don't have to open the door all the way and let the cold all the way out every time you open the door. As you can see too, if you need to open and access this from the inside, this actually does open, giving you access from either side. While we're on the subject of cool doors, let's take a look at the hub. This is the hub. And this is really popular on Samsung models now, where it's basically a tablet on the front of your refrigerator. And a lot of people ask, like, why would you need that? But it's really cool. It kind of replaces a whiteboard, lets you play music, you can display photos on here. Obviously, it's a higher end feature, and if it's not something that you think you would use, don't pay for it. But it's pretty cool. This one also gives you access. It actually connects to Wi-Fi, so there are cameras inside the fridge. So if you're at the grocery store and you're wondering, oh my gosh, do I still have ketchup? You can look on the app and actually look at the inside of your fridge and see how much capacity you have left. It's a really cool feature. And those are a good smorgasbord of features. There's obviously other ones out there. If you have questions about any of them, feel free. Just leave us a comment and we're happy to help. But for now, let's talk a little bit too about Icemaker capacity, because that's a big deal for some folks. If you like to have a lot of ice, an Icemaker is actually a feature that we wanted to spend a little bit of extra time on, because an important consideration that a lot of people don't think about is how big the Icemaker actually is, the capacity. What you're looking at here is there's a trade-off. Because if you want a larger Icemaker, it's going to take up more of your fridge or freezer space to actually house the mechanics of it. But you're not going to have to wait when you run out of ice as often. So determine how often do you entertain, how often do you use ice, and would it be worth it to do the trade-off of a larger Icemaker in exchange for less space within the fridge or freezer? Another cool thing that you do see sometimes with these is sometimes there's an extra Icemaker in the freezer as well as one in the fridge cavity. So that's something to check out too, is how many Icemakers are actually in the unit. Well, there you have it, folks. That's our overview of different things to consider if you're buying a refrigerator for the first time, or if you're buying a refrigerator for the first time in a while. So if there's anything that we didn't cover, any features you have questions about, anything you think we missed, make sure drop us a comment and let us know. And we're happy to help answer further questions or make future videos. As always, if you like the content, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, and give the video a like. But until next time, stay cool, guys.